Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Hard West. Cassandra and her companions arrived at the building where the poker where the soiree was to be held. The imposing building was made entirely out of cast iron and glass, a feat unparalleled in Mexico. They had some time to kill before the game started. Well, we can wander the floor, size up other players while we wait for the tournament to begin. The room was filled with players from all corners of the land. Tense with anticipation of the conflict to come, finally the cashier booth opened. Players began to fork over the cash necessary to register. There was still time for Cassandra to mingle with the guests. Let's proceed into the crowd, shall we? The soiree was first and foremost a social pageant, where the rich and the famous could show off their opulence to their peers and rub their success in the faces of their competitors. Though everyone appeared friendly on the surface, the competitive tension in the hall was palpable. Well, what about an argument with one of the contestants and a lady? A corpulent, sweaty man in a tall hat was arguing with his wife. She said that he would again lose their fortune. All the while he assured her that he had been working on his gambling skills. This seemed to enrage her further, and she launched into a tally of various tells, while he denied all. It seemed Cassandra now knew what to look for. Indeed. Cassandra returned to enjoy the evening, take note of everything and everyone she saw. What about a drink unattended? Well, he shows off his new pocket watch. Cassandra thought back to the bottle of laxative she had obtained earlier. While crude and unfair, it would most certainly eliminate a player from the game before it even started. Sure! Let's swiftly pour the contents of a laxative into the man's drink. That sounds like fun. The gentleman returned to his drink, downing it in a single swallow. His smile lasted a while, but ultimately faded to a terrified grimace. He excused himself and rushed away at a sprint. Oh, an imperceptible smile. That's fantastic. Caught a glimpse of a middle-aged gentleman gazing at her with a cryptic smile. She returned the man's gaze and smiled back. A few minutes later, the man approached her, presenting himself as Jim Vaughn. He commended her on her competitive attitude, alluding to her underhanded activities in the reception room. Seeing her frown, he laughed and assured her he would not expose her. He said Cassandra reminded him of his younger self. He was looking forward to testing his skill against hers in the upcoming game. Cassandra thanked him with an expression of genuine camaraderie. Alright. Place the entry fee, wait for the game to start. Cassandra just submitted 25,000 pesos when a slender Hispanic man in an impeccable tailcoat and top hat approached her with a grin. Cassandra guessed this must be Ricardo La Fortuna. As if reading her mind, he bowed and placed a gallant kiss on her gloved hand. La Fortuna presented himself and asked for Cassandra's name. She treated him to a Russian alias, Lydia Morozov. La Fortuna bowed lower still and wished Lydia good luck in the upcoming game. She curtsied before proceeding to the gambling table. The first round of the game had 20 contestants divided among 4 tables. Among them was Jim Vaughn. Cassandra realized her table only had 4 players. One must have been missing. She also noted that she'd been placed with a corpulent man whom she'd been seen arguing with his wife earlier. She was seated and the rules were explained. The 2 winners from each table would meet for the second round, which would determine the grand champion of the gala, and the owner of a rare piece of jewelry being staked by Mr. La Fortuna himself. The chips were distributed, the cards were dealt, and the game started. Initially, the game was casual and easy. Cassandra singled out 2 candidates for elimination and deftly defeated them using her acute gambling skills. Only one man was left at her table, and she knew his tells, having overheard his argument with his wife. She read him like an open book, and soon he was dispatched as well. The croupier congratulated Cassandra, telling her he'd transfer her chips to the main table for the final round. There was an hour between rounds 1 and 2. The tournament was in full swing. The losing tears were dried by cheerful senoritas and gallons of alcohol, while the winners gloated, prayed, and luxuriated in the lobby. Cassandra looked around, sizing up her competition. One of the finalists discreetly retreated to his room. Intrigued, Cassandra followed him. As they left the party atmosphere of the crowd, the gambler accelerated his pace, crossing the steel and glass corridors of the palace with unusual haste. Then, when he entered the hotel wing, he disappeared. Cassandra looked helplessly around the halls in the hotel. There were 2 rows of identical doors, one on each wall of the hall. One, she noticed, had a light sifting from underneath it. Odd phrasing. As she approached it, she saw that it had been left slightly ajar. She peered through the opening and, to her surprise, saw the man injecting himself with something from a syringe. Morphine. This should be interesting. The gambler lay on the bed, oblivious to everything around him. He was in the full rapture of a morphine shot. Well, what if we gave him another one? Is that possible? Slipped inside the room, gave him another injection of even stronger dose. Indeed, it is possible. That sounds like a good time. Cassandra hesitated, wondering if her lack of experience administering drugs might spell this man's demise. I've come this far, she thought, emptying the syringe. He certainly didn't protest. Rather, he closed his eyes and fell asleep with a blissful smile on his lips. Cassandra left a gentle kiss on his sweaty forehead and left the room. Well, another one bites the dust. Cassandra returned to enjoy the evening, and all the while looking around carefully. Once the break was over, we go to the table. Players sat down to the final round of La Fortuna's poker tournament. Along with Cassandra, 3 other men were still in the competition. One defaulted when he failed to arrive at the designated hour. The others were Jim Vaughn, Dr. Fabian Fay, both of whom she met in Pueblo Casino. Alright, let's begin, shall we? The stakes in the final game were much higher, and so was the skill of participants. But as the game progressed, Cassandra's chip supply diminished until she was on the brink of bankruptcy. She needed a decisive move to improve her situation. She could target Dr. Fabian Fay, whose stash was the smallest, or Jim Vaughn, who had done extremely well thus far. At this point, his skill seemed unmatched. We'll attack Dr. Fay. We know his tells. Dr. Fabian Fay never fully held his cards. He left them slightly off the table and peeked at them. Every so often, he'd pick his fine mustache, but Cassandra quickly determined this was not a tell. Although the doctor kept his composure throughout the evening, Cassandra knew what she was looking for. If he held his breath, he was bluffing. Well, because we were there earlier, in the Pueblo Casino, she knew just when to call and when to bluff. Before long, the doctor had no more chips left on the table. He stood up, bowed, complimented each of the players, and thanked them for this worthy entertainment. He then strode off into the lobby to relax. Very well. To win the tournament, Cassandra still had one more opponent to defeat. Jim Vaughn, you're up against the clairvoyant. How unlucky for you. Jim Vaughn was a true master of the gambling table. Smart, funny, and courteous. He was impenetrable to conventional scrutiny. If Cassandra wanted to defeat him, she would need to use her unique ability. Take a deep breath, try something new. Smile, and see the future at the same time. Letting her instincts guide her cards and her chips, Cassandra managed to outplay and defeat Jim Vaughn. He looked at her with admiration, then laughed out loud and thanked her for an amazing game. Well, thank you, Jimmy. Cassandra vanquished her final opponent. She had won the tournament. Ricardo La Fortuna presented Cassandra with the grand prize, a beautiful piece of jewelry that was rumored to be a lucky charm. Cassandra accepted the prize with grace and humility. La Fortuna told Cassandra she was welcome to visit him in his residence anytime. We'll go there, but first we have to leave this crowd. As Cassandra made to leave, Jim Vaughn approached her and offered to buy her a glass of port. Huh. Now, Jim doesn't seem like a bad guy. He seems like a masterclass in poker players. Usually they're not bad folk, but it does seem as though this would be a bad idea, perhaps. He said that we remind him of a younger version of himself. Now, that's because we were doing underhanded tricks to best our opponents. Is he going to do something to us, I wonder? I'll accept just to see what's up. After that bloody marriage incident, I have to know what's going to happen. Mr. Vaughn was visibly delighted. He ordered drinks as he told Cassandra about his younger years with a refreshing bluntness. Vaughn had run away from home at a young age and wandered the West, finding no shortage of trouble and becoming an infamous gambler and duelist. One fateful day, however, he played against a powerful man, taking a fortune from him. The man was furious, telling Vaughn to leave the country and renounce gambling on the pain of death. That's when Vaughn headed to Mexico. He had been miserable ever since, but when he heard about this tournament, he decided he didn't care anymore. It was worth the risk to play again. What else was life for? So why are you telling us this, sir? He looked at her wistfully. He told her that he saw his younger self in Cassandra. She had inspired him to take his guns off the hook and go looking for trouble again. If there's one person he'd love to ride with, it's her. Huh. Well, I mean, we already have a team. Thank you, but I like having Paco and Felicia. I mean, maybe Felicia's a bit more of an issue because she was a prostitute, or at the very least a stripper. I'm pretty sure prostitute. So she's gonna draw more attention, but I don't think there's much of a point to having Vaughn. So we're just gonna say we like our team the way it is. 2 guys, 2 girls, should be good. Vaughn looked crestfallen, but said his offer stood should Cassandra ever come back to the Adelante Cantina. Cool. Appreciate it. Well, time, I guess, to go to La Fortuna residence. There's not much left to do. Although, no, we need to go to the cantina first. We need to rest. Go to the cantina and get a room. Thank you. What about the headlines? A major article on Cassandra's victory in La Fortuna's poker tournament. Good. I kind of wondered if that would happen. I'm glad we dealt with the Mexican fort first. Let's see. Nothing special happening there. Cool. What about the hospital? Just see if, like, any infamy. Nope. Doesn't seem like there's any infamy at all. What's this? What is this? The Rossetti Hacienda was a lush residence with a beautiful garden surrounding it. The highlight of the hacienda was an amazing collection of firearms. Mr. Rossetti said he was willing to part with some of his specimens for the right price. Some extra cash would help him acquire even more interesting objects. Huh. What do you have? Oh, pfft. Yeah, like I care about any of that. Tournament trophy. Beautiful piece of jewelry is Cassandra's lucky charm. Regenerates luck in combat. Whoa! Hello! That sounds fun. Now, the plus 4 HP I feel like we need on Cassandra. Ojo de Muerto. You know what? We can put that down and take a tournament trophy instead. You don't have that much anyways. Very cool. Plus 20 luck per turn. Wow. Do we have Golden Bullet here? Because that's what we need. There's a lot of cards. Wow. Yeah, Golden Bullet. For the man that regenerates luck. Ricochet, 10 of Hearts. King of Spades we'll probably put somewhere else. Okay, you need some luck, so here's some aces. Gives you 2 pair. And then, so you have aces and 10s. You can get 1 more 10, or we can give you a joker. We'll give you the 10. So that gives you lots of luck, so you're just, like, beautiful with your golden bullet, sir. Okay. So you have aces. Yeah, that'll work. That'll give you, if it works properly, there we go. That'll give you a pair. And then We need a pair for you. And then a 9 of clubs. I don't see that being particularly useful. You got 3 of a kind. Yeah. We're gonna give that to Felicia, actually. Felicia can use the health. Cool. And on that note, we will end the episode. We need to go to La Fortuna residence, and that will be next time, guys. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with friends. Best thing you can do for the channel is share the video on Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. Thank you to Amphit and Siam for being Patreon supporters, and I'll see you guys all next time with a little bit more Hard West. Thanks for watching. DFTBA.